How will this move impact the Colorado Springs economy? Today, News 5's Eleanor Sheehan spoke with an economist who explains which areas could see the biggest changes.
The United States Space Command is leaving Colorado Springs and taking off to Alabama.
How will this impact our state?
Today I asked economic expert Dr. Tatiana Bailey. She says the impact could be felt in jobs, workforce, and housing.
Are we suddenly going to have thousands and thousands of houses up for sale? I don't think so, because we have a shortage of housing anyway in the region. So if I had to predict, I think that we'll see an impact, but I don't think it's going to be, the sky is falling scenario either.
As for jobs, Dr. Bailey says across the state, Colorado will see the biggest impact.
1,500 to 1,700, that's not insignificant.
She says El Paso County needs 5,000 new jobs every year to match population growth.
Almost 2,000 jobs is a hit for sure. But if it caps there or even turns out to be a little bit less than that, we can absorb it.
Dr. Bailey expects some employees will stay here.
A lot of people will just say, look, there are lots of great jobs already in Colorado because the economy has been so strong here for so long. So they will choose to stay put.
Causing her to worry about the available skilled workforce in Alabama.
If everything is back in Alabama and they don't have the workers that they need, are we really fulfilling the mission of Space Command is a major issue that I've also heard a lot of military generals talk about. So, I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about the workforce implications. It's a little difficult to say, I think, at this point with certainty exactly what the ripple effects are going to be of this longer term.
She says it will take years before Colorado Springs feels the economic impact of Space Command leaving. Reporting in Colorado Springs, Eleanor Sheehan, News 5.
Eleanor, thank you. As we continue our coverage tonight, Space Command has a history with Colorado Springs going back 40 years to when it was created. News 5's Bill Folsom is here with a look at the major moments leading up to today's announcement. Bill.
Yeah, Diane, first some clarifications. Space Command and Space Force are different. Space Force is its own branch of the military among the Air Force, Army, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard. Space Force is not what we're talking about here. Space Command is a combatant command responsible for military operations in space. It's among other commands like Northern Command, which stays here in Colorado Springs. This is a map of all the commands. NORTHCOM is up there in the green. It is responsible for North America. It's made up from people of all branches of the military. Space Command was created in 1985 and based in Colorado Springs. In 2002, it was merged into U.S. Strategic Command. In 2019, it was reestablished, and President Trump chose the temporary home for it at what's now Peterson Space Force Base here in Colorado Springs. In 2021, he announced the permanent home would be moving to Huntsville, Alabama. That was days before he left office. In 2023, President Biden announced Space Command would be staying in Colorado. And that brings us to now, where President Trump is 9 months into his second term and has more than 3 years remaining in office. And now he says it will be headquartered in Alabama. What's not clear on that timeline is when this will happen and how long it will take. Diane?
Bill, thank you. We posted the news about Space Command moving on our Facebook page, and it has more than 200 comments going right now. Here's a look at what some of you had to say. Both Chris and Wander say it's just a waste of money. Vic says going from a blue state to a red state means something for Trump, but it will cost billions. Some people see the reasoning behind President Trump's decision and think he has a point. Chuck says Redstone Arsenal has historic ties to space. It is the birthplace of modern rocketry. Huntsville also is home to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Of course, we want to hear from you. If you'd like to weigh in, search KOAA on Facebook or head to KOAA.com. You can always click on the News 5 Community tab. Send us your ideas, your tips, your thoughts. We may share your photos and videos on air too.